Today we're going to do a Halloween painting. This is my favorite time of the year, so I love to do these Halloween paintings and share them with you. You saw the supply list, but I'll remind you what you're going to need. You're going to need a large bowl, a canvas, a cup of water. You're going to need 3 brushes. You're going to need a large flat brush, a small flat brush, and you're going to need a detail brush. So these are the brushes that we use the most often. You'll also need a Sharpie. Of course, you need your canvas and your easel. A cup of water, clean water for your brushes to go in when you're not using them. You're going to need a rag or paper towel to clean your brushes off when you're done. And we'll be using white paint, black, yellow, and red. And this is our Halloween painting. It's going to be a nice full moon with a jack-o'-lantern sitting outside in front of it, ready to light the way for the kids to do their trick-or-treating. So, once you wet down your canvas and you let it dry, we're going to take our Sharpie and our big bowl, and we're going to place our bowl in the middle of the canvas. And with our Sharpie, or you could use a pencil if you don't have a Sharpie, we're going to just outline the bowl. Let me make sure my easel doesn't go anywhere. Okay. You could put your canvas on the table and put the bowl on the table and outline it if it's easier. And we're just going to make a nice circle outline. Hold on to your bowl because they do slip away. If your circle is not perfect, don't worry about it, because once we start painting, we can always fix that. Okay, so here's our circle, and that's going to be our guide for where we're going to put our moon. So now that we've made our circle for the moon, and that's going to basically show where we're going to place everything else, we're going to start by doing the moon first. And as you know, that this year, 2020, we have a blue moon, which is the second time we have a full moon in the month. So we're going to start by making a nice dark orange for the outside of the moon, the closest to the line that we just made. And we're going to bring some red with some yellow. And we're going to start at the outside where our Sharpie line is, and we're going to go around. Now, as you're going around, if you want to add a little more red to that, make it a little darker. And we're just going to follow that around. If you go outside the line, it's okay, because we can always go back in and clean that up. All right. Okay, so we're going to continue going around our circle with the orange paint. Let's keep it one more round with the same color. You could start getting a little lighter with the yellow if you want. Okay. So now we're going to start going in there with yellow. And we're going to go right over where we were so that it blends in and it doesn't look like we have just 3 separate circles of color. You see how I'm going right on top of where we were? And we're going to do one round of completely just yellow. And now we're going to put a little white with that yellow. And a little more white. And now we're going to do the middle. white as we can get it. And you might want to just give it some nice, there we go. Just keep bringing it around till it blends in. And if you want to put a little more white in the middle, just bring it out. There we go. Those strokes nice and round. All right. Okay, so this is the start of our nice full moon. Okay. So now we're going to take this brush and we're going to rinse it off in our cup of water. Jab it on the bottom of the cup so you get the color out of there. Don't worry if your water's getting dirty, your paintbrush will still get clean. Not a problem. Okay. So now we're going to go into our black paint. Put some black paint on there. And now we're going to fill in our background here with a little black and red. So mix up a little black and red. And now we want to put more red than black. Give it a nice dark purplish look to it. We don't want it to be completely black, so make sure we get more red in there. And we're going to fill in the background with this purplish. Be very careful going around here. We could always clean this up later, but just take your brush and use it so that we have the flat edge going around. Take your time, there's no rush. You know you could always pause this video, come back to it when you're done. And there we are. We're circling around the moon. And we're doing that without a spaceship. Okay. Now we can go back to filling in the canvas with that nice deep purplish brown, that night color. And you want to do strokes going all the way up. If you stop in between, you see you're going to have these spacers. We don't want that. We want to take it all the way up. And just follow that line around the moon, and then you can bring your brush all the way up, all the way down. You can go across. But you want to follow through. Okay, and we're going to keep doing that, filling it in. up some more. We want to make sure to just have none of these little stop marks in between. We want to, when you're working with darker colors, you get that a lot. That's why you have to have continuous strokes. Bring it all the way around. So you see here. Get rid of those stop marks. Okay. Nice and blended. No stop marks. Looks good. Alrighty. So now we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to outline our jack-o'-lantern and add a little tree and maybe a fence in the background, and let's see how we can spook this up a little bit. Okay, see you soon. Let this dry. Okay, so we are back and we're going to continue with this painting, and I hope you're having fun because I am. So right now we're going to use our detailed brush. That's the littlest one, and we're going to outline our jack-o'-lantern. But before we do that, we're going to roll our brush in the paint. Okay, we don't want too much paint on there because we don't want to drip. But I want to put a little fence in the background. Okay, so we'll start over here and we're going to just bring our black paint out across the painting. We're going to go completely across. It doesn't matter if the line is straight or not, because this is an old wooden fence that maybe has been there for years and years. Probably half falling down by now. Okay, we're going to do another line underneath it. I'm going to do it parallel, going the same way. Now over here, we're not going to go completely across. We're going to stop and leave some room in the middle. Okay. And now we're going to put our little posts going down. It's just a little straight line. Some can be taller than the others. And we don't have to go all the way down here either. Okay. Now we're coming down here. This one may be a little taller. Maybe this one's got a little break in it. The wood it's hanging down. Bring that right down like that. Another post here. Okay. Maybe one little one here. Alrighty. So now we're going to outline our jack-o'-lantern. We're going to come over here. We're going to bring it the shape of a pumpkin. You know how pumpkins come down like that? Almost like a heart shape. My paint is still a little wet. And we're going to go over the fence and bring it down. Again, over the fence, come down with it. Okay. Then over here, we're going to do the little stem on top. Now, we're going to do the eyes for our jack-o'-lantern, and the eyes are pretty much triangles. Depends on how scary you want him to be. So I'm going to make this round, and I'm going to swoop down like that, so it looks like he's a little angry. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Little curve here. Swoop down and bring this up. So he's got these little angry eyes. Okay, and then we're not going to put a nose, we're just going to put a great big mouth on him. And that's why we left some room over here. So we can come down. Want to put a tooth, we can do that. Make a little tooth. And come up this way. We're going to bring his smiley face. Maybe another tooth here. And a tooth over here. And we're just outlining. And then we're going to join his smile. So now we have to make sure that the background is totally dry. And I still have some wet areas there. So what I'm going to do is, this is nice and dry over here. We're going to put a little tree in here. So we're going to take our small flat brush and we're going to go into our black paint. And you might want to wet the brush a little if it's a little stiff. Softer. Put some black paint, and we're going to come over here. And what I want to do is I want to make some ground over here. So we can start our tree, but where our fence has ended, you can put some dirt, gravel. Don't go inside your jack-o'-lantern, but underneath it. I'm going to fill the bottom with black paint. Just go along the bottom here, under your jack-o'-lantern. Some gravel where your fence is. Maybe a little behind it. Go. Dirt coming up. Okay. Come right next to the side of your jack-o'-lantern. Alright. Now over here, we're going to spooky trees. Spooky trees are fun on Halloween. So we're going to come up, have plenty of paint on our brush, and then we're going to take our brush and take it out sideways. Make some branches. Going up. Come out over the moon and just bring some branches up here. Okay, now we're going to take our detail brush and work on these little branches here. You can fill in and just twirl that brush around. Little branches out. You can put as many or as few branches as you want. If you don't want to put a tree in there, that's fine too. Make it your own painting. Just think that trees on Halloween, when you see their silhouettes, they can be a little spooky. And it's okay if your branches go over each other. They do that. If you look at the trees, it looks like all the branches are intertwined. Ooh, too much paint. Doing. Sometimes you need to take a step back, see what you want to put in there. Make these a little darker. Okay. Looking good. Okay, when we're done with that paintbrush, that goes back into the cup of water. And we do that so that the paint doesn't dry on it, because we want to use these brushes again and again. Okay, so we're getting down to the end of the painting, where we are going to fill in our jack-o'-lantern with some black paint. So I'm going to start at the stem, and I'm using my flat black brush again with paint on it. Be careful when you get to the eyes and the mouth. You don't want to fill those in. We're going to leave those with the light shining through. Now if your paint isn't dried all the way, and I can see that mine isn't, but that's okay. Because you could always go back later on and put more paint over it. sometimes when we have something on there that we really don't want on there, we want to clean that up, we want to fix it. So this is a good way of showing you how to do that. Don't forget those little teeth coming down a part of the pumpkin itself, so we're going to fill that in black. Around the pumpkin in black. There we go. Okay. Again, we want to continue those strokes so that we don't have little stoppers. Alrighty. So, we want to let this dry so that we can go over the black where we have some lighter color paint. Unless you like that, if you like it, you can keep it there. It doesn't look bad actually, I kind of like it. So we're going to put this brush back into the water, and again we're going to take our little detail brush, and that's our little brush, and we're going to put a little bird up in the sky. Well, it's not a little bird, maybe it's a bat with the black paint. Well, that's a big bird, maybe another one. Another bird over here. Alright, so we have some birds up there. Now we want you to clean this off, your detail brush. Clean it off really good. Wipe it with your rag or your paper towel. Now we're going to go into our yellow paint and our white. I'm going to mix a little bit of it together. And then right in here, we're going to make it look as though we have not too much brush on there, not too much paint on your brush, sorry. Make it look like there's the glow from a candle with a little white and yellow. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take my black brush, a flat brush with black paint on it, the small brush. I'm going to put a little more black paint on there. Just going to go in here and clean it up a little bit. So if your painting was completely dry, you may not have to do that. But I had some paint going into here. Okay. Alrighty, that's our Jack-o'-lantern Halloween painting. I hope you enjoyed painting this. It's a lot of fun. Send me pictures and comments of your paintings. I'd love to see them. And please subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing a lot of paintings for young people, paintings for everyone. We're going to be doing some cooking and candle making. We're going to have a lot of fun together. You were still in the middle of this pandemic, and you can't go to paint parties, you can't go to craft schools really, or craft parties, because it's just not fun if you have to wear a mask and keep your distance from your friends. So tell your friends about the channel, and maybe you can FaceTime while you're doing this with your friends and have some fun doing a painting together, but apart. So happy Halloween, everyone. Stay safe, wear a mask, and have a lot of fun. Bye.